Panda. I got broads in Atlanta. Just took the lean, the family. Credit cards and the scammers.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I did a video some days ago on middle rush, basic attack guides and all that. I thought I should do a video on mod and I said I will. So here I am. Now we're gonna focus on two aspects over here, wing play and pocket play. I got a 3 versus 3 map, as you can see already. Just for illustration, I put CPU. So first we're gonna look at how do you play as a wing. So now the very first thing that you need to do is you need to look at the map. But normally when we play mod, we have a pause always. It's like a thing now, so we get the chance to look at the map. So you can just look at all the mines you have around your base, and that's very important because you can make your units accordingly. It's also equally important that you look at your enemy's map so that you can kind of make a perception that what he is gonna make. Now in this case I have a better map. I have a couple of gold mines here, a couple of iron, another gold, couple of gold here. So yeah, I have a better gold map, but that doesn't necessarily mean I use a gold unit. I look at his map and obviously he has a couple of irons and a couple of gold mines here. So in case somebody has an extremely ironish map or a goldish map, what I mean to say, if I only have iron mines over here, I have no gold mines, it's very predictable I'm gonna go tanks. Because a very normal thing that people do on the wings is make tanks, but if they have a bad map they choose to do something else. But that doesn't mean that everybody will go tanks every time. People can make anti-tank guns, they can make marine rush, they can do all sort of things. They can even do air sometimes on wing, which is a bit crazy, but sometimes it can work. Not in team games normally, but yeah, sometimes it can work. Anyways, so let's suppose now I have a very good double iron over here. I can probably make a, yeah, it's a double. But what is important is that as soon as the game starts, I press H for capital and I press D for a dog. Now this dog will be flagged over here so that as soon as he reaches, he's gonna let me know what enemy is making. Now for example, if I go and select a tank sieve, now it's better, personally, I prefer that I don't make a tank factory as soon as the game starts. I'll make a dog, I'll send one here, and let's just do it. So I'll send some citizens to iron, another 5. Now my dog will let me know what he's making. So I'll just wait. Well, since this is a CPU, he won't be like, it's not real game, so I can't really do it. But the point is, if let's suppose I discovered that he's making, let's say he's making anti-tank guns, and I was about to make a tank factory, but now instead of wasting 318 wood on a tank factory, I can make a couple of barracks. So that's much better than wasting my wood. So what happens often is that players make a tank factory, they're rushing and they realize that the enemy is anti-tank guns, and then you have to make at least a couple of barracks and you don't have enough wood. So instead of making a tank factory, just scout your enemy first. It's much better. So try to do that. That's the first thing you do. Now after that, I will make this a town center, by the way, so that I can make multiple citizens and I can get bonus on iron. So this is how you start for tanks. Other thing you need to look at when you're wing is that if your enemy, let's suppose you are anti-tank guns,
How can I
you're
help?
doing a gold mine, you're making anti-tank
Ready.
guns, which is basically from Siege Factory.
Ready.
If you're doing anti-tank guns and enemy decides to go marines, how do you counter? A lot of people ask. Now, obviously, the simple and the basic answer to this would be to make tanks, but I would personally prefer artillery.
Ready.
A couple of artilleries can really help you to deal with a lot of marines. So if I'm making anti-tank guns and enemy goes marines, I'll make a few artillery. You can also make tanks. It totally depends on your civilization. Now, in this, I can't show you, but normally if you're making anti-tank guns, which is field cannons and anti-tank guns, I normally have artillery upgrades, but some people have tank upgrades, so it's always a mixture of units. In this civilization, you can see I have tanks and I have a few siege upgrades and infantry range, but you can change that according to your own likings, how you like to play. But you need to have multiple units, so if somebody counters your tanks, you can make infantry or you can make siege weapons or whatever. So one way to counter marines, if you are 80 guns, is to make artillery, or you can make tanks. That's your choice. But I would prefer artillery because I think a couple of artillery hits can kill like 10-15 marines really quickly. So yeah, that's a bit about how you play on the wing. Now let's talk a bit about pocket. But before we move on to pocket, just a few more things. If you both have a very good iron map, like I have a very good iron map, let's suppose the enemy has a very good iron map, it's better if it's more likely that it's going to be a tank war. So if it's a tank war, obviously you build leopard tanks.
Right away.
Leopard tanks are the more expensive tanks, but they are the more superior tanks. So they're not really anti-tank, but they're just the better tanks. So if it's a tank war, you press S hotkey for leopard tanks. If he's infantry, you just make normal tanks. So
How can I help?
as you can see, leopards are a bit more expensive.
How can I help?
So that's a bit about tank war. So yeah, and apart from that, pocket. How do you play as a pocket? If I was positioned over here, how do I do my air start? I'll actually restart this game, and I'm gonna show you how do I play as a pocket. So alright guys, welcome back. Now we are gonna focus on pocket. For pocket, it's a very different start to wing. Wings are more aggressive. They need to counter units, make counter units and attack aggressively. Pockets have a different
How can I
role.
help?
Now as a pocket, obviously you make air. There are two ways to play pockets. You either mass air or you play with a more balanced civilization. So let's go into civilizations here. Now I have this normal air save which contains tank, siege weapons and some other units, ground units, a bit upgrades about bombers as well, but this is not what I normally use. I normally go for mass air, and for mass air I remove all the ground units, I remove the bombers and hit points, and I just go and put cost reduction citizens, and I have 3 points left. Now you can use these 3 points in any way you want. It doesn't really matter. You can't really put much now. But normally I just put attack citizen, doesn't matter. Now I have my civilization for mass air. I have citizen cost reduction. I can make a lot of citizens really quick. The first thing I'm gonna do when the game starts, send 6 each to gold and iron. I already showed you how you can select citizens really quickly using the shift and
How can I
tab
help?
key. So if you haven't watched the video that I posted before, do watch it for basic guide and basic controls. So you send
How can I
6
help?
each to gold and iron. Oh, there's a double here, so don't send it to these. Send it. Always look at your map first before the game starts. Send it over here, 6 here, 6 here. Make a settlement. Make it into a town center. It's very important. And then start making citizens with both the buildings. Now, I always take all my hunt and put like 5, 6, 7 citizens on hunt since the very beginning. And then later on, when my hunt is about to run out, I also put the forage citizens over here. This way I can continuously keep on working with 3 to 4 town centers. By about F11, 15, 20, I have like 3 to 4 town centers, and I'm really quickly making a lot of citizens and filling all the mines, gold and iron, that are around me. So I'll just make a quick air start and pause when I think I've shown you enough. So just watch. Now I'm a
How can I
citizen
help?
where
Ready? How can I help?
How can I help? Right away.
Ready? Ready?
Okay.
Ready?
Right away. How can I help? How can I help? Okay.
yeah, too many citizens.
Ready? Right away. How can I help?
Now when you're building this airport, just flag it to the enemy and make 1 fighter. It's very important. Obviously make citizens.
Ready?
Ready. How can I help?
Now
Ready. Right away. Okay. How can I help? Right away. Ready. Okay.
so
Ready. Okay. How can I help? Right away. How can I help? Okay.
now this is normally for scouting the enemy. So
Let's go.
and sometimes he will send his fighter as well. So we might engage in combat. And always bring the second fighter as soon as you get it. So in case you need support, you get it. So this is how you scout, and you keep on making fighters, keep on making citizens. Put some on hunt. So yeah, as soon as you get about 600 wood, you can make a couple of settlements, and soon you can make your second airport. Your second airport can come around F11, 6, 7, and your third airport comes around F11, 11, 12, around there. Resources come really quickly because I have citizen cost reduction, so I can make a lot of citizens for only 40 food each. I'll use 1 citizen to build airport. I'll put a few here and here.
Right away. How can I help?
How can I help?
Now I have 2 each. I have 2 each now, mines, and I can make a lot more fighters quickly. But don't forget fighter upgrades. Attack and HP should be the priority, and obviously you can do speed as well. 1 on speed. Make sure your both airports are making fighters. They're working.
Ready? How can I help? How can I help?
I hate it
How can I help? Right
when
away.
they don't listen.
How
Standing
can I
there.
help?
Always watch your citizens. Sometimes, normally when you build a settlement, the citizens just go to work automatically, but sometimes they just stand here for some reason.
How can I help?
So always watch your citizens. Just keep on making fighters, keep on making more airports, and
Okay.
look, my third airport is coming pretty quick, to be honest. But always remember, don't make a third airport if you don't have enough iron and gold, of course. If you think you don't have enough resources, first take iron mines and gold mines around you. Take as much as you can. Keep on making citizens. Send a few citizens to forage now. Although I have hunters, but it's better if I make more food now, because I will need to make more town centers, and to operate those town centers I need more food. So it's useless if I make a town center and I'm not making citizens out of those. So yeah, now my fighter should be upgraded. There's one more thing I want to show you. This is pretty much the basic start of how you start. Obviously, when you're playing against a human, you will have to scout continuously again and again. You'll have to be watchful if he's entering your base, and there's a lot of things you need to look at. I didn't make towers in this because, well, it was just an illustration, but you do make towers, of course. You need to protect your base. Make a few towers. Make the towers in the very start of the game. Use a couple of citizens. If you're pocket, you don't really need to worry too much about towers, but do make them. Put a few citizens. As long as your wing doesn't fuck up, I'm pretty sure the towers wouldn't matter that much. But you should make towers always at the start of the game. You can afford to put less citizens. That's the point. Obviously, if you're playing on the wing, your towers should come up a lot quicker. And previously, when I was giving my tips on wing play, I didn't talk about towers because I guess that's very obvious that you need to make towers. To do that when you're playing online. Now, I forgot to make citizens because I was talking, but always keep on making citizens and populate mines, populate the other gold mine, and make multiple citizens, make fighters, make more airports.
Okay, how can I help? Right away.
And yeah, that's how you play. That's how you play. Obviously, you do all this a lot quicker. When you don't have to talk on the mic, you'll be able to concentrate a lot more and you'll be a lot more quicker. But yeah, that's how you play Pocket. Now, one more thing I want to show you. One more thing I want to show you. Oh my god, it's attacking me. Is how can you quickly select your fighters using Shift key plus F. F is for fighters. D is for fighter bombers, this one. B is for bombers, and A is for nukes. T for anti-tank planes, and these are not really used, so it doesn't matter if you don't know the hotkeys. Now, how do you select? Obviously, how do you select a lot of fighters and how do you bring them out? Is what I want to show you. Now, if you want to bring out your fighters really quickly, rapidly, you select all your fighters like I have now. I'll just unpause, it's gonna fuck me up. And you click anywhere on the minimap, literally anywhere on the minimap, and very quickly, rapidly right click your mouse like this. Just right click your mouse rapidly and look at how quickly they're coming out. If you just keep on clicking like this, they come out real quick. So this way you can bring them out real quick. And always use the CTR key when you're moving, so that the attack can move automatically. So if I compare now, without doing what I did, without using the minimap clicks, you'll see they come out a lot slower. Just for illustration, I'm gonna do this. Here we go. Now, if I just click once, now they're coming out a lot slower, as you can see. But if I now start clicking, look at that. Now look at that, how quickly they're coming out. Now, obviously, most of the players already know this, but there are some players who don't know, so I guess I can help somebody now by showing this. So yeah, this is a very useful trick. And that's pretty much it about Pocket play. So like I said, there are two civilizations you can use. There's Mess Air, the one I used, And there's another one which is a more balanced air sieve. You will have a few tank upgrades, siege upgrades, maybe a few marine upgrades, but that compromises on cost reduction, citizens, which is a big factor for me. If you want to make a lot of air, you need to have a lot of gold and iron, and you need a lot of wood. And to have a lot of wood and to have a lot of gold and iron, you need more citizens. And to have more citizens, you need cost reduction. So if you decide to go without cost reduction, you will have ground units, obviously, but then you'll not be able to like mass air basically. So if you don't trust your wing, for example, if you think your wing is very weak and he's gonna die, then perhaps it's better if you put some ground units in your civ. But if you trust your wing, then it's cool. You can mass air and absolutely dominate the skies. So yeah, that's it. That's it about how you play mod as Pocket. Now obviously, when you're playing Pocket, you need to stick to your game plan. It's very, very important. Yesterday I was playing a mod on Neo 3 versus 3, and I was Pocket, right? And this guy, Ieros, I guess his name, he was really offended that I didn't help him because he was losing his wing battle. Now, listen, bro, I cannot help you because look, my Pocket enemy was Ellison. I didn't want to talk about this over here, but I guess it's important for people to know why I did what I did. Now, if I had used, let's say I had made 5 or 6 fighter bombers, maybe 7, maybe 8. Now, according to the situation, he was really losing the battle. Like, he was getting raped. So even if I did help him, he would have still lost. And I would have lost as well, the air battle. And we would have lost the game, lose the game. So we won the game because I stick to my game plan and I just won the air battle, and then I could help him later on. The problem is that you need to look at your opponents always. Now, if my opponent Pocket, who was Ellison in that game, Ellison is a very good player. So if I gave Ellison the chance to kill me, because if I make fighter bombers, he would have won the fighter battle and I would have lost my army, and then it would have been really difficult for us to win the game. So I did the right thing. And you should also always, in that situation, it doesn't matter who my wing is, even if it's my best friend, I cannot help him. I'll stick to the game plan. So air dominance is very important, because I've seen players who lost their wings but they won the air battle as Pocket. They killed the opposition Pocket and went on to win the game. That's how significant air is in mod. Although you can say the same for wing, but wing isn't as important for me as airs. So pockets are very important, and always in such a situation when your wing is dying and your opponent's Pocket is equally as good as you are, you need to make sure you win the air battle. You can make a couple of fighter bombers perhaps, but not more than that. And I did make a couple of fighter bombers, but those weren't enough to save him, unfortunately. So yeah, just stick to the game plan always. And people should realize that it's not easy when you're playing against a very good enemy Pocket, and you have to help your wing at the same time. You have to make like quick decision at the time, and I made the quick decision. I thought that it was better for me to just mass fighters and wait for the opportunity to strike, and that's exactly what I did. As soon as I saw Ellison's fighters come out, I just went to him, killed his army, and then I started making anti-tank planes, and we won the game. So I don't know why he was angry, I don't know why he was so upset, but you know what, I'm Panda, and I'll deal with him in my own way. But that's for later. Thank you for watching this video. This was a little tutorial on modern. Tell me if you have any questions regarding tactics, stuff like that, any other questions, even if it's related to middle or any other set, I'm more than willing to answer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.